Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be showing you how to build Boba Fett's transforming Microfighter, a small combo build I've made using the parts from both LEGO Star Wars sets 75344 and Star Wars set number 75369. And so to start things off, I'll be giving you a decent bird's eye view of the parts we're going to need for this build. And here we got a good look at the parts over here on this side and over here on this side. And the parts and the sort of segments that are already put together are basically just there to either try to speed things up, basically, because those are parts that we're going to be either mirroring or duplicating. And so with that, let's get started. So starting off, I feel like a good place to start off would be with this, the sort of base torso piece from that mech set. So we're going to start off with this. We're going to take one of these, the black 2x2. We're going to place it right here. Alright. Then after that, we'll take one of these sand blue 1x2s, place it right there. Then we'll take two of these tile pieces with one flat side, place it on. What you're going to do is connect it to these studs with the flat side facing up this way towards where the shoulder would be, I guess. Do the same with the other side. Then after that, we'll take our dark green 1x2 brick and just place it up here. Then after that, we have this small little segment done. Whoops, bumped the camera. As I was saying, here we have that and how that's looking so far. And so for now, let's going to set that aside so we can work on some other assemblies. So, tell you what, let's start with this piece right here. So what we're going to do is we take this Technic brick, we take one of these kind of brackets, attach it up here. After that, we take one of these pieces, attach it like so, with the overhang facing this way for this side. After that, we take one of these maroon, dark red maroon slope pieces, attach one of these brackets on top of here this way. And then after that, we take one of these. Yeah, we take one of these rounded 1x2s, and just attach it onto the anti-studs of there. Then after that, we can attach the stud here up top to the anti-stud here from the overhang. Boom. There we have that. It really doesn't matter which orientation that this is. Just randomness. Okay, so up next we're going to take two of these kind of tiles, these dark green sort of elbow, so rounded corner tiles. We're going to attach one onto these two studs, like so. And then we'll take our second one and attach it to this stud up here. Boom, like that. Then after that, we'll take this Technic piece, then attach our light gray bushing, shove that through there so it's at the center of that, so it's kind of centered with that. Then we'll attach this Technic, then we'll attach this like axle end into the axle hole brick in the brick, like so. Okay, then after that we can then work on the sort of like fin, like wing thing. So for that we'll take one of these pieces, we'll take one of these, so attach that here on this anti-stud. After that we'll take one of these and connect this stud onto the other anti-stud on the opposite side, like to make it look like that. After that we'll take the wedge with the pointing this way, with the wedge pointing this way, we'll take that and attach it to these two anti-studs here, up here, like so. And then we'll take one of these and angle it like this on the underside, like so. So it looks like that. And then after we attach this onto the little like Technic end, like so, and after we connect it right there, we can just go ahead and mirror that. Okay, then after that we can go ahead and work on this assembly. So for this we'll take one of these pieces, one of these like slope pieces, take this sort of gray tooth piece, attach on top of the stud with the tooth facing this way. Then after that we'll take another one of these maroon slope pieces, attach another one of this kind of brackets on top of there. And then after that, we'll take this brick and basically connect these two onto the anti-studs. So with the brick like this, we take this assembly, connect the stud on top to the anti-stud on bottom, and for this we'll connect the stud here to the other anti-stud, making sure that both of the gray parts on top of the maroon pieces are facing the same direction. So basically have that, and after you assemble that, you basically mirror that only for like either side. Really doesn't matter. But like for either side, we take another one of these pieces, connect one stud onto the anti-stud up here, under here, with the other anti-stud of overhang, because that other anti-stud is going to connect to there. So again, doesn't really matter, but for now let's just leave at that. Up next we have the leg. So for the leg, we'll start with we'll start with a set of these kind of like mixel joints. Like, one of these kind of mixel ball joints and one of these kind of mixel socket joints. Basically connect those two together, and boom, there we have that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take one of these one of these curved pieces, connect the anti-studs on top of the studs here, like so, like that. We can go ahead and like turn this 90 degrees for now. Really doesn't matter in the long run, as long as we like know where this is going. So after that, we'll take another one of these one sand blue 1x2s. Connect that up here. Then what we're gonna do is take another set of we're gonna take another set of these like mixel like ball and socket joints. Connect the socket end onto these anti-studs like so. Okay, then after that we can basically sandwich this section in with a black 2x2 plate. So just sandwich that in like so, and there we have that. After that we can now work on the lower section. And for that we're going to take one of these kind of like, sort of like a great, you take this piece, connect the studs down here to the anti-studs of this mixel like socket joint, connect it like so. Very nice. After that we take this slope brick, we take like this like slope brick with the curve like facing this, with the curve facing this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it like this, and we're going to connect these 4 studs onto these 4 anti-studs. So basically like so. After that we can just take another sand blue 1x2, connect it right there. Then take one of these hinge sort of pieces, and then 3 of these sort of finger pieces, and just clip those onto the connections like so. Then after you have that, connect the studs onto the anti-studs under here like so. Then after you have that built, you just mirror that as well. And there you have the sort of legs done. Very nice. Up next we have like sort of like a also like tail / like a cockpit section. So I believe it can be like, I believe like we can like go ahead and like start off with like sort of like middle assembly of this first. So to start this off, we're going to take this piece, this sort of like interesting sort of like piece thing right here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take another sand blue 1x2, connect it right here like so. Then take this piece, this sort of like gray piece, connect it like so, like that. Alright, cool. After that, we'll take this maroon vent piece and connect it onto these 2 studs at the end, like that. So let's set that aside for now. So we can take a sand green 2x2, a sand green 2x2, a sand blue 1x2, and a sand blue sort of like 1x2 brick with the sort of venting detail. So what we're going to do here is we're going to connect the 1x2 plate onto the anti-studs of this vented brick, of this textured brick. Then after that, we'll take the 2x2, connect the studs of this assembly onto the anti-studs under here, like so. Then after that, we'll take this assembly, take these studs, and connect them to these anti-studs, like so. Alright, cool. So there we have that little like section. After that, we can now build like the sort of armor side thing. So for that we'll take one of these kind of snot bricks, and our next thing is we're going to take one of these sand green corner plate things, connect it like this so that the overhang is facing this way. For this side, we'll take one of these gray pieces and connect it onto the studs of that. Then after that, we'll take one of these brown rounded 1x1 pieces and just connect it onto this anti-stud down here. Then after you have that, we can then of course mirror that. Okay, cool. After that we can attach these sides onto this middle assembly. Connect the black anti-studs onto the sand blue studs right here in the middle. So like that and like that. So there we have that thing going on. So up next we're gonna build like the sort of like tail section of it. So we're going to take another set of the mixel ball and socket joints, but this time we're going to turn this upside down so we can take one of these sand green curve pieces, connect the studs onto the socket piece onto the anti-studs here so that they line up on the anti-studs like so. Then after that we'll take one of these pieces, connect it onto this anti-stud. Take one of these rounded 1x4 pieces, connect the end onto the other sand green anti-stud. Then after that we'll take this inverted curve piece with the studs in light gray and basically just sandwich this section in like so. So it's looking like that. Then after that we can like turn this piece so it's like facing this way. Then after that we can take we can like quickly assemble the sort of flick fire missile. So we'll take our flick fire missile, take this black piece, attach it onto the stud at the end. Then with that we can take this black lightsaber hilt and basically just connect the stud connection up here onto this little bar connection here at the end, like so. After that we'll take one of these pieces, turn it this way so we can basically like snap this into place at this angle. Then take one of these dark green cheese slope pieces and connect it onto this stud right here so that the tall end is facing towards the flick fire missile. Then after that we'll take this and we'll connect this anti-stud onto this stud here at the end, like so. Then after that we can of course sandwich this in with one of these kind of inverted curve pieces, like so. There we have that little assembly. So there we have that. And after that, we can first I gotta figure out how I did this. Oh yeah, that's right. So first we take one of these piece in light gray. So we have like this piece in light gray right here, the one with the one that kind of looks like a 2x2 tile, but it has like a sort of has like these two, so it has like this sort of like 1x2 like plate looking thing on it. So we take this piece in light gray, we basically turn it this way, and so with this we take our like little like arm assemblies. Oh, I almost forgot. After we finish assembling this, we mirror that too. It feels obvious, but like I think I might have forgotten to say that. So, but there you go. So after you like mirror the build for that, we take the studs we attach the studs from the Mixel ball joint piece, connected to the anti-stud here. Boom and boom. Like that, so that the studs here are facing the same direction as like the gray like side of like these arms. Okay. Then after that, we take this piece, this same piece but in dark gray, and we can then attach these studs onto the anti-studs down here like so. Then after that, we'll take another one of these rounded 1x2 pieces and connect it onto the remaining anti-studs right here, like so. Alright, cool. After that, we can then assemble like the sort of like cockpit like hinge and like windscreen thing. So we'll take our windscreen, we can then clip our like hinge pieces onto the cockpit like screen like that, windscreen like that. We can then use this 1x2 tile, connect the basically attach this onto the two light gray studs like so, then flip it over, grab another one of these sand blue 1x2s connected to the two studs here like so. And then once you have this section done, we can then do the final assembly. So for this we can first take this assembly and this assembly and this like sort of assembly, attach these anti-studs, these 6 anti-studs to these 6 black studs, basically connected like so, and there we have that. After that, we can take this, connect the 2 gray anti-studs, and connect them to the 2 gray studs right there, like so. After that, we can then assemble this part. So we take this torso like base piece, we can then take our legs, connect the anti-studs of this dark gray piece, and attach it to these 2 studs right here. Do the same with the other side. Boom. Making sure that stays in place for now. Then after that we can connect this stud from this assembly onto this anti-stud from the tile on this assembly, like boom. We can do the same for the other side. Boom. And then connect this piece onto the anti-stud of this section, like boom. So there we have that like whole like section semi together. After that, we can basically just like layer this over and basically just attach essentially what you're doing is you're basically going to attach these 4 anti-studs right here and here, and attach them to these studs here and here. So like after like doing that carefully and attaching that in and rotating those, the only thing left to do after that is to connect the 2 halves together. So for this, you're basically going to connect these 6 black anti-studs to these 6 studs right here. Let's lift up the cockpit section and let's do just that. And then after that, you're basically done. After this, you can, of course, throw in your Boba Fett of your choice. I personally prefer to use the one that was included with the mech set, because I like how the colors from this Boba Fett minifigure fit with the overall color scheme of this mech. So after that, we can just adjust that and basically just seat him in and lift down the cockpit. And then after that, you are done. Here we have Boba Fett's transforming Microfighter complete and ready to go. If you enjoy, and yeah, that'll be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later. Yay.